Konnichiwa everybody, and welcome back to part 3 of the Wii U hitters to buy if you're going for a full set. Now this section is the games that are currently quite reasonably priced. I would say the majority of these are between probably 20 and probably between around 20 to 40 pound currently, these games, and these are the games that I can see going up quite significantly over coming years. So, you know, in addition to those medium and big hitters we've already talked about, these are ones you might want to buy before the real cheap, you know, common titles. So without further ado, we'll press on because we've got quite a few here. This first one is Academy Atelier. Now, you can buy this around 20 quid, but I could imagine this becoming exceedingly rare in the future because I really can't see many of these having been sold in the first place. So, not because it's a good game or anything, I mean it's an art package, which I suppose kind of suits the Wii tablet, but purely for its surely very limited sales, this is going to be very rare to find in the future, I think. So although it's, you know, you're not going to want to play it, while it's a £20, I think it's a must buy. Then the next ones, we'll bunch these two together because they're both very similar, and we've got the awesome Barbie Games. Oh yes, two best games on the system we've got right here. If you've got a Wii U, you've got to buy these. These are must play games. I am joking, but as I'm sure many of you are aware, Barbie Games, you know, obviously they've got their market. They're probably fantastic for young girls, but they probably don't sell very well. And obviously, if you watch Retro Edge channel, you know the trouble he's had trying to find Barbie on the 3DS. So who knows, in the future it may be a similar story with these. So these are, you know, you'd probably pay 20 to 30 quid for these each. So for God's sake, buy them now, because you don't want to be paying 100 quid for this shit, do you? Let's be honest. £40 is more than enough. They both come with their manuals, I think. Yeah, so look out for that. But you know, buy them now for God's sake. Don't have to waste hundreds on them in the future. In a similar vein, we've got two Monster High games. We've got 13 Wishes and New Ghoul in School. Now, I can't tell you if these are any good or not, because beyond trying them to make sure they work, I've not played them. I think I've got a feeling 13 Wishes is more of a game of the two. I think this is a, you know, a really crappy, I can't remember, dressing your costumes and all that kind of shit, but you know, whatever. Anyway, this is in a similar boat to the Barbie. You know, they're not going to have sold many of these, I wouldn't think. They're not particularly common now, so for God's sake, if you want a full set, buy them now while you can get them for 40 quid again, like Barbie. You don't want to be spending hundreds on this crap either. And then the next one, we've got Sonic Boom. Now, there are two Sonic games on the Wii U. This is the more common one of the two. But I'm not 100% sure, because you know, I'm not a fan of Sonic anymore. I think this might be exclusive on the Wii U, but don't quote me on it. But nevertheless, if that is the case, you know, there are many Sonic collectors and Sonic fans out there, so I can see this one going up in price in the future, unless they've done it on something else, or they do it on something else in the future, on some kind of remaster thing. But yeah, you can get this around 20 odd quid, but I think it's certainly worth jumping on while it's that kind of price. And then the second Sonic game is a bit rarer to find, and again I'm pretty sure this is exclusive to the Wii U. And we've got Sonic Lost World. Now there are two versions of this. As you can see, there's a normal version, which is that one, and then you've got the Deadly 6 edition, which is that one. Now, to be honest, I've no idea what the difference is, but I got both for my set anyway. Like I say, this is a rarer game than Sonic Boom. You're probably looking at 30 to 40 quid for this one, and again for exactly the same reasons as Sonic Boom. Being if it remains a Wii U exclusive, you know, it's got the Sonic sort of heritage, and you know the Sonic collectors might bump the price up of it, you know, in addition to the Wii U collectors. But I can see this one being, you know, significantly more in the future. So again, you might want to grab this while you can. That's Sonic Lost World. I seem to remember trying this, well, when I did try it to make sure it worked. I seem to remember thinking it was okay as 3D Sonic goes. I'm really not a fan of 3D Sonic. Right, now again, this is a similar kind of territory we've got here. There are two Transformers games. Now both of these get quite poor reviews, but to be honest, I don't pay much attention to reviews. Obviously I'd got to buy them because I was going for the full set, but having bought them and tried them, I think both of these are alright, to be honest. I've not played mega amounts of either, but the bits I have played I thought were reasonably good. It's much better than the reviews suggest. But regardless of that anyway, if you're going for the full set, it don't matter if the game's crap or not, does it? You've got to buy them. So neither of these are particularly common. Obviously it's got the Transformers sort of kudos, if you like, which is going to create some demand. You'll notice this Transformers Prime, it's kind of got a weird cover on this one, which looks like it's multi-language, but I've never seen another version of this. So I think that's you know, the only UK one you can get, I believe. But if you know different, let me know. I've never seen another one. It's like a multi-language game, that one, because it has got English on it. This one's an Australian one. You can get this UK version, I believe. So I will upgrade should the opportunity arise. But both of these, like I say, they're not uber rare. You know, there's always one for sale, but they're always, you know, only ever 2 or 3 at the most. And they're both around, you know, 30, 35, maybe something like that, but each. But they're not coming down. I think both of these are going to go up, so I'd definitely jump on the Transformers games. Then the next two, these are in another kind of two sort of grouped together really. And we've got, these are two Nintendo eShop physical version games. And we've got Fast Racing Neo, and then we've got a dual pack of SteamWorld Heist and SteamWorld Dig. Now you'll notice these are both Australian, and these are the only versions of these you can get. My Fast Racing Neo is sealed, so I'm obviously leaving it sealed. This was the first game I ever bought on the Switch actually, when the Switch launched. This is one of the first games you could download, and this was actually the game I played when I had my Switch. It was the sequel, Fast Racing RMX I think it's called. This is a really good game. I'm assuming the Wii U is just as good as the Switch. Much like F-Zero Wipeout, but a cracking game. This one's around 20 odd 30 quid, but as it's Australian exclusive only and it's an eShop game, with a physical version, I can see this being quite a lot of money in the future, so I'd definitely jump on Fast Racing. And then obviously the same applies to this. It's an eShop game that's had a physical version, so for exactly the same reasons, that's around 20 or 30 quid currently. It just comes with a leaflet, that one. You know, another two to jump on, frankly. Now this one's a bit of an oddity in that when I was collecting, or when I started collecting my full Wii U set, it was quite a pricey title and it was really quite difficult to get, and then all of a sudden there was an influx. Somebody must have found some new old stock and it became a fair bit cheaper, and that's Jet Tailfin. Mine's new, as you can see. I've sealed. Again, I won't be unsealing it. Now this is, I think it's a DreamWorks or a, is it a DreamWorks or a, it's a cartoon. I presume it's based on a cartoon, I don't really know. It's a fish racing game anyway. I mean, I like kind of arcade racing games, obviously that's my bag. I would actually like to play this, but I'm not unsealing this. If I can find a cheap unsealed one, I'll buy this again. But yeah, this used to be around sort of 50, 60 quid or more. But like I say, this batch of new old stock must have been found somewhere, and it dropped down quite a bit. I think it was down to around 30. So I'm not sure about prices on this one now. But I definitely, you want to be jumping on Jet Tailfin, because that's going to be expensive in the future. Now this one, I mean, I can't recommend this as a game because it's crap. Viola Latina. Now this is like a dancing Zumba style game. I mean, total shite. You're never going to play it, but you've got to have it for that full set, haven't you? There aren't many of these about, and the ones there are about tend to be in Europe. So I'm not sure if it's a European based game, but that said, this is a UK cover. But, I mean, it's only around 20 odd quid at the moment, this one, but it's not a common game. You need to buy that straight away. Viola Latina. This one, again, not very common. Usually about 40 quid or so, maybe a bit more. And that's the Croods. This is like a party type game. It's not a bad game, to be fair, if you like that kind of thing. The bit I played a bit, it does come with a manual, this one. But yeah, it's not that common, this one. So this is going to go up in price, it's just inevitable. The Croods. The Book of Unwritten Tales. Now unfortunately this is a European one. I believe it's German again. The UK one's quite difficult to find. I did buy this from CEX and it came, you know, it wasn't the UK version, it was a European version, which was, you know, annoying really. I mean, I should have took it back really, but it was in nice condition. So, you know, it's a placeholder really. I will change this for the UK one at some point. But not an overly common title, not mega rare, but again, it's one of these you need to jump on while it's reasonable really. Now in a similar vein to the Croods, we've got SpongeBob SquarePants. Again, this ain't that common, but it ain't mega rare either. But I can believe it will be in the future. And it's a 3D platformer style game, and to be honest, I played a couple of levels on this and it really was decent, I thought. Obviously it's aimed at kids, but you know, we're all big kids, aren't we? Or I am anyway. Decent 3D platformer. I think this is around the 40 quid mark, so I'd definitely jump on SpongeBob SquarePants. Not like that, just boys. Right, this is a bit of an oddity again. We've got Fit Music for Wii U. Now This is another one that you tend to find in Europe a lot and very scarce in the UK. It's another one I've got sealed and I won't be opening it, so I've no idea what it's like. I can only assume it's like Zumba and Viola Latina. But it's one of these games that nobody's going to have bought this, are they? So it's going to be rare and it's going to be stupidly expensive in the future for what it is. So do yourself a favour, get it now if you want a full set. Now this one, Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I'm surprised this one isn't more than it is, because it's an RPG style game, isn't it? There's no manual with this one, and I've forgotten now. It's been probably a year or so since I bought this. I'm sure this is in the same world as something else. Is it Persona, or I think it might be Persona. It's in the same world as something anyway. Whatever it is anyway, it's in the same world as some RPG series. I'm not into RPGs, but this is only 20 odd quid usually, maybe 30. I could see this going silly money in the future. The limited edition, sort of special edition big box version is 100 quid plus on this, which I would ideally like to get. But at 20 odd quid, you know, surely that's a must buy, because it's, you know, there aren't many RPGs on the Wii U and that's surely going to go up in price, so I'd grab that. Then next we've got Warriors A Rocky 3. Now I think this is a Dynasty Warriors game from memory. There's no manual as such, there's just one of these branded pieces of paper with this one. You do tend to see this European versions of this a lot as well. Quite scarce on a UK version, and I think this is around the £20 to £30 mark the last time I looked. But there are never many of these about. It took me a while to find this one, so another one you might want to grab. Warriors of Rocky 3. And then we've got Rise of the Guardians. Now I did play a bit of this. This is a decent 3D adventure fighting type game, as I remember. Obviously it's based on that DreamWorks. I presume there's a film, Rise of the Guardians, I don't know. But it's another one of these that it's not mega rare, but you don't see that often. So you know, it's got the hallmarks of being one that's difficult to find in the future. So I'm sure it's around it's around this £20 to £30 mark. You want to grab that really. Then this one, we've got Love Me Buddies. Now this is quite hard, well I wouldn't say hard to find. You can buy it, you know, or at least you could a few months ago when I bought it. It was quite readily available, but there's only sort of 2 or 3 to choose from. This is the kind of thing I'd imagine there's some new old stock somewhere, because although it's not sealed, to be honest, this looks new to me. It does have a manual, or a sheet of card anyway. But you know, it's one of these multi-party games, I believe, and it's not, you know, it's not a good game, but these seem European based as well. And like I say, once this, I'm assuming his new old stock has gone, this is going to be stupid money, because it's not a common game at all. So although you don't want to play it, it's another one you need to grab while you can at the price it is. Now this is another one of those that's come down in price recently. Again, I think there's been some new old stock found somewhere, and we've got Rowdy the Sky Soldier. Like I say, this was quite recently. You could buy this brand new for 20 quid. I think I paid 25, I think, for this, a used copy. Admittedly it's a nice condition one, but it cost me 25 before this new old stock came about. But what you want to make sure is you've got the original. It's a 2-disc game, and it's got the original. It's got the Wii U version, but it's also got the Wii U version, and the Wii version is supposed to be the better game. so you want to make sure you've got both discs if you're buying it used. But it's a is this the one that's made by Yuji Naka? I think. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, you might want to grab Roadia, because once these new ones are gone, I can see this one climbing in price, especially with that original original Wii disc, bonus disc. As I say, it's supposed to be the better game, so I'd definitely buy Roadia. Then the last one we've got in this section is another one of these games that it's hard to believe that's old money, so it's going to become a nightmare in the future. And we've got Wii Fit U. Now there is a balance board as well you can buy separately, which I've not got. I don't think I want to buy that, to be honest. But as you can see, this comes in a larger cardboard box with a fit meter. This is brand new. Obviously you can use it with a regular Wii balance board, but there is an actual Wii U branded boxed balance board. But you know, I can believe, you know, this is going to be difficult to find in the future with the meter in the nice cardboard box, because you know, Nintendo cardboard, it's a nightmare, isn't it? So again, it might be worth buying that now while you can. I certainly would grab it before you've got to pay silly money. You're not going to play it, but it's good to have it nevertheless. So there we go. That's the third episode done and dusted, and they're all the sort of the relatively cheap and affordable games that I can see expanding in price quite a lot in years to come. So if you've not got any of those, you might want to add those to your list as well. So once again, I hope you found that helpful, and good luck on your Wii U journey. I found it quite a good experience, but I'm glad I'm just looking for the odd thing now and not chasing some of these games which are going up in price. But good luck to you all if you are still looking for them. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you shortly. Sayonara.